What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Nova Senpai, and I am back today playing Tower of Fantasy with another guide, and this time it's for Meryl, the Claymore Frost character, and she is great for breaking shields, and she also is used a lot in PvP, or she was when I played PvP before I realized that like I don't have enough money to spend on this game to play PvP. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay. So first up, we'll talk about team comps. So there are a couple team comps you can run. The one that I usually ran was the Fortitude team comp. So just pretty much staying alive and focusing on shield breaking. So it's a support role for when you're playing like joint ops and stuff. You're not a DPS. You're just there to break the shields and take all the damage. But you can play if you want to play an attack version, you can use Frigg and Tsubasa and just run like a mono cryo team, and that way like Meryl would be your shield breaker, and then Tsubasa and Frigg would be your DPS. Whereas mine, you're more a support role. If you want to play a different type of support role, you can run Huma, Nemesis, and Meryl. So you could have heals and increase your survivability, and you still have a shield breaker because Meryl has a good shatter. But pretty much she's a support, and most of her roles are designed around just being beefy. All right, so next up for a Meryl build, depending on what you want. If you're running the mono ice team and you have like Frigg, Tsubasa, and like Meryl's your support, your shield breaker, so you don't really have to focus your gear around her. Like if you're just using Meryl as her shield break, you don't really have to. If you're using her as your DPS, or if then obviously Frost is what you're going for. I don't know why you'd be using her as a DPS though. And then if you're running her on a Fortitude stance, so just a tank class like the Huma, Meryl, and King, like I do, I would say because you're going for tank, focus less on like you can go for I would say probably fire if you're running Huma and King, but I would run resistance, so a lot of resistance stats you want to go for. Luckily for me, I get super unlucky when I'm going for DPS and I get resistance. I'm pretty sure one of these, it might be the pants. I know one of my sets before, I might have gotten rid of it now, but it had like all four substats was like all four types of resistance, and I was going for frost attack at the time and it was just trash to me. But if you want to be the tank character, then instead of attack, you want resistance. That way you can absorb more damage, resistance, and health. So, yeah, pretty much if you're the main thing behind Meryl is her tankiness, so you want to help with the tankiness. All right, let's move on to her awakening. And her first trait, Meryl Cool Rose, is reduce frost damage received by Meryl by 20%, gain immunity to the frostbitten effect, and reduce duration of being frozen by 50%. And her awakening trait, reduce frost damage received by Meryl by 25%, gain immunity to frostbite effect, and reduce the duration of being frozen by 50%. The air around Meryl becomes cold, freezing the water around her. I don't really see this as very useful unless you want to slap it on when you fight Frostbite or any of the like frost enemies to just kind of gain more resistance towards them. Using Meryl though against a frost enemy just seems stupid in my eyes because they are resistant to frost. So why would you? But I mean, to use it against frostbite, I guess it's okay. The whole freezing water. Whoa, cool. So it's probably one of the least useful in my opinion. Like there's definitely better traits out there to go for other than hers. All right, so we're on matrices, and there are actually a ton of matrices that you can use. So with SRs, you want to use you could use row bars. So because she has a lot of shatter, Robargs, when a target is shattered, the poison the target and deal damage equal to 45% of the attack for 10 seconds. For every second. Oh, my bad. So that she has a high shatter, so it works. You could also, because she's playing as a support, run Barbosa, who's on my Huma right now. And their 3-piece set is upon switching to the weapon, gain 50% of damage reflection for 3 seconds, cooldown for 30 seconds. Upon switching to another weapon, gain 20% damage boost for 5 seconds. So because she's like a shield breaker, a support type character, this works well. And obviously, if you really need, you just want to put like DPS on her, you can use Sobek, because Sobek just increases damage dealt by 6% for each enemy nearby. It's a standard slap on whatever DPS character you want when you don't have their own. When it comes to SSR, she has quite a few uses with the other characters. So you can use King's 2-piece set, because when a target is shattered, it'll grant a damage boost for 25 seconds, and that's good. You can also use Shiro's, because it increases both damage and shatter to targets with more than 50% HP, which that is nice. You can also use her own, which I have. It's on. They're split up between other characters right now, but so hers is obviously gonna do best on her. Well, actually, not necessarily. Kings and Shiro's do pretty well. So, but hers is obviously made to make her better. Her 2-piece set is if HP is less than 30% after being attacked, gain a shield equal to 20% of max HP for 10 seconds. And if you like work on getting high HP stats, right, on your character, with that 20% of max HP could be ridiculous. And then your 4-piece set is increase whirlwind damage by 36% and restore HP equal to 30% of the damage dealt while whirlwind is active. Maximum HP restored every 0.5 seconds, cannot exceed 60% of attack. So she gains a healing ability with her 4-piece, which is nice, especially if you're not running a healer. This allows you to like heal. But yeah. And then you could also use Zero. I don't have any of Zero's SSR matrix, so I don't remember what it does, but I do know you can run it. But I'm not quite sure exactly how useful it is. And then just to finish up, the Meryl isn't really a DPS. Like, she's not made in the purpose of being a DPS. She's mainly a support character, and when you play like joint ops and stuff, like the team comps as you run around, unless you're running, you know, her as just the third like fill-in, if you're running a character like around her with like Huma and with like King like me, you're not going to be doing the most damage on your team, because that's not the point. You're more of like the tank. You're absorbing the damage. You're making, you know, the enemies attack you. That way your DPS and like your healer and stuff can focus on doing their jobs better. So don't like expect to put Huma on, or not Huma, don't expect to put Meryl on your team and go out there and do like get like top damage when you're in like joint ops and stuff, because that's really not her purpose. Her purpose is to break shields, and that's it, pretty much. So yeah, and that's it for today's video. So if you liked the video, leave a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.